Hey guys, it's Mrs. Kincaid, and I'm back with chapter 24 of book 2 of Shadow House. And we just left off where the kids were all kind of starting to argue with each other as they were stuck in a room, and the specials were still down below them trying to get in. And now Poppy has sat down on the floor, and she's got this notebook that Marcus forgot he had in his pocket, and she's starting to read it. So remember, when we're done with the chapter, to go to Plato and type in book 2 chapter 24, and you can give me your answer for whatever question I ask. All right, hope you're still liking the book. Okay, here we go. This is Poppy reading. July 10th, 1937. Yesterday, the children were laid down in the Larkspur Mausoleum. Gage, Sybil, Eliza, James, and Orion. Rest in peace, children. Okay, Poppy just read that these kids had died on July 10th of 1937, and this was written in that notebook. Oh, man. Poppy glanced up from the notebook, swallowing back emotion. Those were the names of the first orphans, the ones who drowned, and who tried to drown us while Cyrus swam to shore. Short-haired Azumi sat beside her. What a monster. Marcus and the other Azumi sat down a little further away. Dash continued to wander around the rest of the room, still shaking with anger. This next one jumps ahead a few months, said Poppy. Continuing on, it says October 1st, 1937. Bad memories are returning. Lately, I've seen the shadowy thing that haunted my childhood dreams lurking around the grounds. When I try to look at it straight on, it disappears. What does it want from me? I must do something before these thoughts drive me mad or crazy. Too late, Marcus added. I saw it this morning, whispered the short-haired Azumi. Remember? The thing that was chasing Poppy and Marcus across the meadow? It looked like, well, I don't have words to describe it. I have words to describe it, said the long-haired Azumi, crossing her arms, because I was the one who saw it this morning. Uh-oh, now the two Azumis are arguing. Let's not start this again, said Poppy, glancing towards Dash, who was looking at a portrait hanging in the far corner of the room. Please, if you want us to trust either of you, just stop it. Sorry, said the long-haired Azumi, slouching. The short-haired Azumi sighed, but she wouldn't take her eyes off of her twin. There's more here, said Poppy. A lot more. Tick-tock, Dash called out, glancing over his shoulder. Come on, we need to find the next solution and get out of here. Poppy pressed her lips and then went on. December 31st, 1937. To my surprise, my maid, Rona, brought me the most bizarre gift this afternoon. A page written in my mother's handwriting with a recipe of some unnamed dish, which it seems is meant to ward off the presence of evil. Poppy looked up. Now this is weird, she said, forcing her voice in Dash's direction. She continued to read. The main ingredient is a flower called, what do you guys think? Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Larkspur. It is a poisonous plant that grows in the western states, where my father spent his youth. I have decided to write to Aunt Emily and see if she might procure some blossoms in the coming spring. Procure means, can she get some of them, take some, and then get them to her. I don't like this story, said the short-haired Azumi, scooting closer to Poppy, as if it was almost as if to protect herself from encroaching shadows. I don't either, said Dash. Yes, it's weird, but so is everything in this house. Poppy continues to read. May 31st, 1938. Poppy continues to read. The recipe worked. Something inside me has changed, and I feel like new, like Like my father's five-sided man, I now ascend when once I fell. She looked up again. Five-sided man, said Poppy. What's a five-sided man? And then she shook her head and continues to read. Why should I give up my dream of helping the unfortunate? I shall reopen this orphanage. I shall find new children, better children. Larkspur will be reborn. The house will help me. We shall do it together. Better children, said one of the Azumis. What does that even mean? I'm not sure, said Poppy, but it doesn't sound good to me. And then she went on reading. January 7th, 1939. Plans. 1. Seek out similar 5 types: the bookish girl, the musical prodigy, the sleepwalker, the charismatic boy, and the mute. 2. Teach them my new method so that they understand what it is to come here and how they shall help me. 3. Find masks for them. 4. Keep them from sleep. 5. Reveal their phobias. 6. Deny them reward. 7. Discover boiling points. And 8. Force them into psychic breaks. Oh, guys. He was the one who had the psychic break, said Marcus as he began to tremble. What did you do, Cyrus? Poppy continued as she stared at the pages, almost like she was hypnotized. Five-sided man, said Dash from the edge of the room. Five-sided man? Hey, check out this painting. It looks like it might be a clue to another one of Cyrus's puzzles. The painting hung on the wall opposite from the ladder that Marcus had tried to climb, in a five-sided wooden frame. That's really weird, guys. In its center, a man in an old-fashioned tuxedo was falling through an indigo sky. His head pointed towards the bottom of the frame, his legs together and his arms lifted slightly away from his body, and his palms were facing up. His expression was peaceful, as if he was resigned to plummet into infinity. Now, I'm going to show you this, and it looks upside down, but that's the way it is in the book. Here's a picture. So you see it's a five-sided frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it says it looks like the guy is falling through a sky. And if you can look really close, I'll see if it works. His face, his face doesn't look scared. He's not yelling. He's not screaming. And so that's what they said. He looked like he was accepting whatever was happening. This is bizarre. Poppy glared at Dash. If we hadn't read the notebook, we wouldn't have realized that he was even important. Well, if I'd sat down and listened to your story, said Dash, we wouldn't have even found this painting. Guys, this isn't a competition, said the short-haired Azumi. You know that, right? Poppy squinted back at the journal, and she keeps reading. Like my father's five-sided man, I now ascend when once I fell. She reads on, and then she looked back at the painting. Well, it looks like he's fallen there. So maybe we need to make him ascend? Asked Marcus. Ascend means to go back up. It's easier than that, said Poppy, optimism creeping back into her voice. Cyrus's puzzles all seem to center around opposites, hope and fear, falling and ascension. She grabbed the frame and began to turn it. Something inside the wall began to shiver. The sound of a crank clicking slowly and echoing came from within. The others watched as the man on the canvas was turned over. His head pointed up instead of down. This simple change in perspective made it seem like he was no longer plummeting into darkness, but rising into the heavens. "Whoa," said Dash. And then something rattled behind them. Looking up, the group watched as the hatch at the top of the ladder swung open with a bang, and the darkness behind it seemed to inhale slightly, as if trying to catch a whiff of them. "Hello?" Poppy called out, but of course there was no answer. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, here's my question to you. When you go to Plato and you put in book 2, chapter 24, who do you think it is opening the hatch? Because let me read that again. It said, something rattled behind them. Looking up, the group watched as the hatch at the top of the ladder swung open with a bang. The darkness behind it seemed to inhale slightly, as if trying to catch a whiff of them. So, who is this? Is it the specials? Is it the shadow person they're talking about? Could it be someone completely different? I don't know. So let me know who you think it is. All right. Bye, guys.